was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I got a call from Dan to say that his house had been struck by lightning and was on fire, and could I get round there and make sure everything was okay? And I said, not falling for that one, not going around to the house. He said, seriously, I'm on my way back from the spit. I can see the flames from here. So I jumped in my car, headed straight around. 3 fire engines, 6 police cars, and about 20 neighbours on the street, and the fire brigade hacking into the roof. That's how it became the Lightning House. It was literally that afternoon we were watching it burn, and Phoebe said, well, rather than just getting the insurance money and using it to build a new roof, why not just put another floor on top instead? I think a common misconception is that there's going to be a degree of extravagance involved in engaging an architect. Lightning House is a simple and modest house, a classic example that you don't need a multi-million-dollar budget to achieve a great outcome. When you're dealing with a modest budget, you have to really focus on some key elements of the project where you spend that money. I spent a fair bit of time talking to Dan and Phoebe about timber-framed windows and doors. They have a really flat sill, and we can configure them to get a really seamless transition between spaces. The idea was make the kitchen a part of the living and dining rooms with a nice stackable servery window so they could connect all of their living spaces. I think the front deck is a story about constraints and the fact that sometimes things that you didn't really foresee in a project turn out to be some of the best aspects of it. We were limited by the height of the existing roof, which meant that the volume wasn't huge, but it's actually turned out to be a real bonus because of the human scale. Dan and Phoebe, initially, they were thinking about a Hampton style. I quite cheekily said, well, we don't live in the Hamptons, we live in the Gold Coast, and why can't it be Labrador style? Labrador's effectively a 1950s suburb. You see a lot of steel rod balustrades. We saw that as an opportunity to have a modern take on that. We did it with steel wire rather than rod, and that gave us a really lovely weave and a fineness to the balustrades and a little bespoke element that adds something really important to the building. When we were developing the elevations, we realised that the architecture was very simple. We had essentially a box with a low-pitched skillion roof. In putting a really lovely big sliding window into that wall, you give the owners a really beautiful open space, and you also give back something to the street and the neighbourhood as well in terms of the elevation of the house. The big driver of going up was to get views of the Broadwater, which is over to the east, but there was also the suburban view back to the west, which I thought was just as important. When the sun sets, there is that really beautiful aspect, and that's how that window became known as the Sun Bar. We're in Queensland and we're on the Gold Coast, and we want to celebrate the locality and the climate and the history.